Greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations. This is a COVID check-in. So I had a very interesting conversation with a taxi driver who said to me as he came to pick me up with no mask on that COVID is not real, that he doesn't believe in it because he doesn't know anybody was died from it. So I said, sir, this is how you're determining. So I said, so all the other people who know people who have it, including me, or people who have died, they said, no, nobody has died. It's all a conspiracy. One world order. It's all part of it. And Prime Minister Holness and all these other leaders in the world are part of this. And he said, do you know if we dead now, then when he says code we die from? People, what do you think? How many people you know like this? Or do you believe that COVID is a conspiracy and it's not real? Like my taxi driver who had to say, you can't come back and pick me up till COVID done, right? Because since you're not wearing masks, and he told me, my passengers don't wear masks either, I'm like, then this car could be a haven of COVID because you're not clearing it down. So I told him that if him answer for work when the call again, I'm going to say no. But how many people like that are you running into? Or what are your feelings? Is this just a wild, conspiracy to force us to take a vaccine that's going to do things to us? He went on to say, feel like NIDS is involved in the vaccine as well. And I was like, what do you mean? But anyway, onward with today's episode. That was the beginning of the check-in. So yes. So we're checking in. It's March. First of all, it's crazy. How can it be March already? New Year was 2 weeks ago. It's March. We're at the end of the first week of March. That is insane. Tempest is fugiting in a serious way and is not waiting on any of us. So COVID, we are in our spike in Jamaica and, changing curfew hours and all these things. I didn't think the 2 hours earlier would affect me in the way it did, but it did. You really have to kind of frantically scramble to get things done earlier, plan your day earlier if you're going to honor the curfew. This is one of the things I want to talk about. Before the change, and even since it changed to 8 o'clock, people were just doing their own thing, People were ignoring it, going out late. Sometimes I do all-nighters in a particular hotel. And my all-nighter is I go there around when curfew starts and work until the morning when curfew done. And when curfew was 10 o'clock, I'd see people coming in at midnight, 12:30, 1 in the morning, to get food, who were not staying at the hotel. They'd come in, get the food, eat, and leave. And I'm thinking, curfew now keep? That also leads me to think, well, should the hotel be serving them? So if you know these are not your guests and they're on the road and clearly breaking the curfew, are you now complicit if you are selling them food and thing because you have a 24-hour thing? COVID has been with us for a while. It's going to be with us, I think, for at least another year and a half, 2 years. So are we examining the nuances of this journey? Finally, we're now talking about penalties for breaking the guidelines, not social distancing, not wearing your mask, ignoring the curfew, because in Jamaica, sadly, unless we get punished, we don't respond to things. So I agree with the sanctions for people who break the curfew. I do believe in that. And the party keeping, come on now, people. And let's be clear, both uptown and downtown, not just downtown people, don't get it twisted. In some big uptown venues and spaces, people are gathering in numbers, in droves, and not social distancing. They should be penalized. Yes, if it's a space, lock it down. They should be punished. That's what we respond to. Because guess what, folks? The spike is real. I want to shift quickly and talk about our education, our children, our students. Are we checking to see how we're doing? So we know some students hate online schooling. Some students love it. Some students feel disconnected. I've spoken to some students who say their biggest issue is the bad behavior of their classmates. So some teachers don't know how to establish classroom control online. Some teachers admittedly are not good with the online schooling. Are we assessing to see how we're doing? Are we assessing to see if the children are learning? And not just children, but older students. Are people learning? Have exam passes and assessments increased? How are we managing that? I think we have to pause and do some kind of assessment. I did not agree with and still don't agree with the face-to-face this face-to-face initiative. I think it's too risky and I still do. because you're making the children leave. They're going on the road, they're traveling on the public transportation where there's not a lot of social distancing. Some people not wearing masks, they're at increased risk. The teachers don't have time to enforce them wearing their mask all the time when they're at school. That's an additional risk. Do all the schools have all the sanitizing stations and the sanitizing materials and chemicals they need to wipe down surfaces every time a child uses them? I have serious doubts about that, but I hope there's some assessment about success, failure, and where there's room for improvement being done. Are we checking and assessing? But also checking with the teachers. It does require an additional level of preparation, engagement, animation, and delivery to teach online. And a lot of teachers are feeling burnt out. They're feeling under the gun, under pressure, because remember, they're also trying to manage their own lives in this pandemic. What kind of support are teachers getting? Is it consistent? Are we checking in with our teachers? And even our school admin, how are the schools doing? I hope we're doing some kind of assessment with that. And also creating, new and innovative ways to engage students online. So I hope some kind of educational survey or review is going on so we can talk about best practices, what popped down and now work, so we can leave it behind. Another year or two, people. So how are we going to manage mental health and wellness? A lot of people are feeling the pinch now of the prolonged COVID. We have to pull back, not put ourselves and our families at risk, but also look at how we're going to cope. Do you have things in place? Are you checking in with people regularly? Set up FaceTime with your friends. Make it part of your routine to call your friends. So what are we doing? What's your plan for yourself? Is your home safe? Do you feel like you and your kids or your family are bumping into and falling over each other in the house? Do you go out more? Do you try and put on your mask and go to the park, go drive? So Christmas not keep this year. It not gonna keep. I was hoping it would, but if we're in our spike now, and our healthcare system can manage. So I'm suggesting that we have some plans. So nationally, but also individually, check in on yourself, assess, is this working for me? And celebrate the victories. Am I doing better at working from home than I thought? What are the challenges? Now, is my light bill and internet bill higher because I'm online? Do I need to have some nuanced conversations if I'm working from home continuously? What does that look like in terms of what is costing me to work from home? Or is what is costing me negligible because I'm not traveling? So I'm not either driving, buying gas, or paying taxi fare. Does it balance out? So we need to do those checks and balances for ourselves. And like I said, and keep checking on your friends, your family members, got COVID there. So I'm affirming good things for you as I affirm for myself. I'm giving thanks. I found my COVID stride. I have to admit, I found my COVID stride in terms of working from home, in terms of creating new opportunities for myself. I've lost some income. I'm no longer teaching at UE because they laid off adjunct lecturers. So full-time lecturers are teaching stuff that adjunct lecturers. I was one of the adjunct lecturers laid off, but I had to wheel and come again and say, okay, how can I now fill this gap? What can I do? I had to pivot, as they say. So keep on pivoting, rediscovering, thinking outside the box. There is no box. COVID mash up the box. I'm affirming good things for you and for myself. Thanks for watching. You know the deal. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. This has been Fabian Seh. Enough love, wholly polite, and good things.